Here we are, season finale, and I told you surprise guest. So drum roll, who is it? It's your boy, Corey Emanuel, creator and host of Lend Me Your Lens. Thank you so much for sticking around for all now 9 episodes of season 1 of Lend Me Your Lens. So today, you get me. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what inspired me to create this series. Here we go, in 3, 2, 1. So I grew up in one of the smallest cities, I think, probably in the United States, Belton, South Carolina. Yes, deep South, South Carolina, sandwiched in between Georgia and North Carolina. Born and raised there, spent the first 25 years of my life in South Carolina. From there, I went on and I moved and lived in Nashville, Tennessee. From Nashville, I went to New York City. New York City, I went to Atlanta, and then eventually made my way to Los Angeles. So I tell people I've had sort of the best of both worlds. I know what it's like to live down south, experience, warm weather, southern hospitality, still have my southern charm, or so I'm told. But I've also lived in big cities, and I've brought everything I've learned and garnered along the way with me to Los Angeles. So I feel very much that I am a country boy with big city dreams. One of the setbacks I would say that I've experienced is I did not come from a film TV background. Again, going back to where I grew up from, you really don't get exposure to those opportunities unless you live in a major city. So for me, I had to carve out opportunities for myself. I would say my first opportunity to get a taste of production was when I was in grad school working for CNN for Black in America, very popular franchise that was hosted by Soledad O'Brien. And I remember my last day of my editorial training experience was her giving me the advice, Corey, learn how to do several things well. And I took that advice to heart, and I really began trying to learn every possible facet there was about television and film through a number of experiences. Coming out here to Hollywood, I've gotten a chance to pitch shows to major networks. And one of the notes I found myself continuously receiving was, where's the talent? Where's the talent? And Hollywood is still very much a place where in order to get a project off the ground, you got to have a name attached. And as I'm continuing to network and build those types of relationships, I wanted to focus on something I could do now. What would be a vehicle that I could spotlight talent that could be streamed globally to tell people's stories? I wanted to create a platform that would allow people to be able to find great content, quality content by amazing creatives of color, no matter where they are. What I was finding that as I was pitching shows and developing shows, nothing was really moving at the pace that I thought it would move. Nothing was really getting off the ground because I didn't have a big name attached. So I said, Corey, what can you do now? What stories can you tell now with the resources that you have? What can you do now? And that's how Lend Me Your Lens was born. I wanted to take some of the extraordinary people that I was meeting every single day and allow people like you to hear those inspiring stories. One of the things that is very popular now is panels. But one of the things that's limiting sometimes about those panel discussions is that they're limited to whatever city you may be in. Lend Me Your Lens is a global platform. We have people who watch this show from Africa, Australia. And so those little nuggets that you might be getting in your communities, Lend Me Your Lens allows an audience to hear that information and get that dose of inspiration no matter where they are. One of the questions I get asked often is why, as a creative, did I choose to get a PhD? And my response to that is I found the PhD program that made sense for me. While in grad school the first time at Columbia, had the opportunity to take a course called media psychology. And I absolutely loved that course. And I knew that there was something more for me to do in that field, where you're able to look at the platform or the multiple platforms now that exist for media, TV, film, social media, etc. And also be able to marry that with a love for human behavior. I've always been fascinated by what makes people tick. And so for me, discovering a PhD program in media psychology would allow me, I knew that it would allow me to take my educational interests even further and really make a positive impact. As we continue to grow and evolve in technology, we're gonna need people, we're gonna need folks around to help us navigate that space. So the PhD in media psychology will allow me to do that. It's allowing me to really be an influencer in what I consider to be an emerging field. Now, one of the other questions I'm asked is, okay, you're getting this PhD in media psychology, what do you plan to do with it? Well, I don't just plan to simply teach. I have a heart for young people, and I do imagine that this degree will put me in some classrooms. But even beyond that, I plan to write. I've already written a children's book, and I would like to write. I would like to be a voice in this space, particularly the space of the effects of technology, the effects of reality TV, social media. So that's really where my research to date lies. I'm currently studying the influence of Black celebrities on Black culture. There really hasn't been much research done in this area. You have global icons such as Oprah, Michael Jordan, Beyonce, who have been studied to a certain degree, but I'm personally interested in looking at perception. I want to know what it is when we socially compare ourselves to celebrities, those who are famous. How does that impact our own lives? Does it impact our body image? Does it impact our romantic relationships when we compare our partner to, say, someone who is famous? What impact do these things, do these perceptions have on our individual lives? What can you expect from CEO Entertainment moving forward? We have multiple shows in development right now. We're writing. We're actually getting into the scripted space of storytelling. So you can definitely expect to see some scripted shows coming down the pipeline. And I will also be producing and hosting a documentary, my very first documentary coming up. CEO Entertainment is planning to continue telling stories. That's what I want to do. I want to tell stories that inspire other people and allow people to use their lives to inspire others. Lend Me Your Lens Season 2. Can you nominate yourself or someone else for Lend Me Your Lens? Absolutely. If you look down below, we have a link that will take you to the nomination form that will allow you to nominate yourself or someone else. What do we look for? Okay? Because Lend Me Your Lens is a TV show, we do look for people who have a visual behind their brand, behind their message. As you've noticed, as you've watched every episode, be it pictures, videos, we're showcasing projects, we're showcasing your artistry, your merchandise. There needs to be a visual element, a strong visual element to whatever it is that you do. That's what makes a show compelling to watch. How can you keep up with me in between shows? Social media, of course. You can find me everywhere: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Corey Emanuel. Pretty easy to find. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much for being a part of Season 1 of Lend Me Your Lens. And guess what? We're coming back. Season 2, we're going to pre-production in January 2019, and we'll be back with more inspiring guests just for you.